Welcome, guys, to your ultimate mastermind. It's an awesome pleasure to be here with you. This is my beautiful Sally and my tiny little baby boy.
Hi, guys.
What's going on, Renee? What's going on, Ty? You guys are here with us. Great to have you. I'm just going to tag. We are live on my Facebook page at the same time. So in case you see me talking to you guys inside of our group or you guys inside of my audience, welcome everybody. I thought this might be a pretty cool topic to talk about, mindset, right? Like we're inside of, if for those of you who don't know, inside of our inside of my audience, we're entrepreneurs. We are entrepreneurs, and we basically we're also affiliate marketers. So we gather around a community of like-minded people who teach strategies about how to become a better person, become a better you, brand yourself. And it really has turned a lot into like personal development and to grow yourself as a person, to grow yourself inside of inside of your own personal brand and your own personal business. So around that, we decided to create a mastermind, okay? So inside of this mastermind, it's a weekly place for my entrepreneurs and colleagues inside of our community to gather and basically listen to me speak, and also have the opportunity for you guys to speak as well. So if you guys want to join the conversation, just want to let you know what's happening here. This is going to be super weird. Camera on camera action, right? We're also doing this thing on Zoom. So you're watching us have our own mastermind, and it's pretty cool. Okay, so it's pretty neat to be able to see that we're doing this live on my Facebook. Tammy, what's up? Lori, what's going on? Look at my little son, guys. And it's funny how we got a couple of people with us. We got 3 people on the Zoom, and we've got 10 people now watching us live. So yeah, look at my little son. He's so cute. He's just getting so cute.
He likes to be part of
Likes to be part of the team, part of the fam. My next newest 6A. Yeah, cool. So we're all gathering around this business, right? But if you're like, what do you guys even sell? Honestly, we sell you your dreams back. We sell you your time back. We give you an opportunity, travel the world. We give an opportunity to learn a set of skills that are going to enable you to create wealth from anywhere you get an internet connection. Holy smokes! Like talk about pick your office. Like holy crap. So as we come here live every week, we share tidbits, pieces. We speak around the digital campfire. And we help each other grow. So this week, what we wanted to do was talk about mindset. Mindset is like, yeah, she looks beautiful. Hey, Tammy's saying, "Oh, thanks, Tams." Yeah, she's gorgeous. Even though I'm tired, I'm always tired, and I always just look this good. Nah, just kidding. I had a haircut recently. Okay, so I always have to talk about my haircut if I have one. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about mindset, which is a perfect segue from my hair into my mind. Renee says, I'm sorry if I jump off. I'm alone with Bubba. You can put us on mute. You can put the camera down. You can definitely just hop away if you need to. Sally just pops a boob out right here and just basically starts breastfeeding for all of the thousands of people that watch us live. So just kidding. If she needs to, babe, please, off the camera. You're on 2 cameras this time.
Oh, yeah.
So better be careful. Okay, cool. So what does it take to actually be in business, guys? Like, is anybody even – like there are certain stats out there.
A lot of working on yourself.
A lot of working on yourself.
Yeah.
That's not what they tell you at the very beginning when they're like, oh, you can just – put a web page together and you say some words and people buy your stuff. Like, yeah, right. Anyone who ever starts a business, like, I could do this. I could sell that. No worries. And then you can't, or you won't, or you don't, or whatever happens. And we get stuck behind the jail cell of our mind because we can't seem to get over ourselves. We can't seem to get over our mindset. And that happens to a lot of people where we want to, Kevin, what's going on, my brother? Brother. Kevin, love to see you, man. We get into the funk, the same thing that's been holding us back our whole life, the same reasons why we've always been failing. They all seem to come back and hit us. Shar, what's going on? Great to see you. We're basically talking about mindset, and I'm pulling people on for the conversation. So if anybody wants to join the conversation, you are more than welcome to tell us about your experience. We've got Ty, and hopefully Renee wants to share hers as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my Zoom link. So if you feel like you want to come onto the actual like Zoom call and be on camera and come and share your story with us, you're more than welcome to do so. This is my Zoom link. So you guys obviously have Zoom in order to be here, but give my camera a minute to start jittering around. I got to get a better tripod. I need Thai level tripod in my life. Like this guy's a super. Somewhere. Oh, I'm using it for the light. This is totally rickety. I'm using one selfie stick tripod to hold my light up, and then another arm that, you know what? Never mind. Okay, you do what you got to do. But the smooth, that's part of the smooth there. Okay, cool. So mindset, guys. Before you even think about getting in business, before you even understand what it takes to be successful, you have to conquer the beast within. This is that nagging mind, the one that tells you you don't know what you're doing, the one that thinks that you can't, that, oh, this doesn't work for people like me, or I can't make money, or I might as well just go get a safe job, or the part that rolls their eyes at a business. Like, there are certain mind triggers. There are, like, they call it mindset, right? There are certain things already set in your mind that you developed from your parents teaching you about, oh, money doesn't grow on trees, and back in my day, and oh my God, and you had to walk 10,000 miles in the snow, and all this stuff starts to come out to give us a fear or poverty mindset about wealth, or the scarcity of it, or the fact that we're kids and we just ruin things and we don't have a value for money. My dad always told me that. He's like, you don't value money. And I'm like, I don't understand what the hell you're talking about. Like, of course I value money. Money buys me stuff. And he's like, well, then why the hell don't you have any respect for it? And it didn't really quite click into me until I was an adult watching my own kids like rip apart like $40 worth of toys as soon as I brought it home. I'm like, sometimes it would be funner just to watch money burn. Like, let's just grab a lighter and just take a dollar bill and throw it on fire. Like, what the hell? And that was my understanding about, like, people, they don't have like a value around money. It's like we don't have enough of it. Only the rich people have it. Rich people are evil. Money is the root of all evil. Like, you name it. Like, money changes you, and oh my God, you know, as soon as you made money, it just changed. And it's like a weird thing to think that there's a mindset around wealth, around creation of it, income, profitability, productivity, generation of wealth for others, that we get stuck in the hourly wage of money, the spending of cash, the salary, the income, and the very finite versions of it. So one of the really biggest things that we have to understand is that money isn't even real, guys. Like, it's a piece of electricity on a computer somewhere that is like a data bit that like ledgered your wealth. It doesn't even exist anymore. And I'm a numerologist, so I really get into words and I really get into the value of them. Current, and like the measurement of energy in electricity, currency, the level of measurement of wealth in your bank account or of a country. Any idea how, like, these guys are actually connected and related? Like, money is actually an energy. So we have to get into the mindset of not trading a dollar for our time, or, you know, like say I'm going to work 8 hours and create some wealth. We have to come to the mindset to think that an idea can change the world. This is why social media has really helped it for us, because here we are now, like, you know, a couple of us getting together on a Zoom, and then, you know, 11 or 12 of us getting together on a Facebook call. We're expanding our message across the world. How many of my people out here from Auslan or from our Kiwis that are out there on the other side of the planet, literally like around this digital campfire? We're not just talking to each other being like, hey, we have to have a better mindset. Like, yeah, I know, right? Sorry, you're going to say?
Imagine if you had, like in the old days, you had to pay thousands and thousands of dollars advertising on TV.
Can you imagine?
And not just anybody, right? Now anyone can just post on.
Yeah. It's so weird to think about that. Before the internet, how likely were you to be able to actually speak to this many people at this month at the same time, instantly? Like, this is real time. It's so strange. It's so nuts to think about how this works. And I was thinking about this, and it was actually right at the moment when Ty messaged me. If you guys don't know Ty K. Huxley, you haven't lived. This guy's a champion. He's a boss. And so he's a friend of mine, he's a colleague of mine. And basically what happened was, I was thinking, I'm like, we should really tackle mindset. We should really tackle, like, the primary ingredient of what it takes to be successful in business. And then this guy messages a list. If you're inside of our business, it's a list of words that you want to avoid when selling your story, when talking about your message online, We spend money on Facebook, super weird, right? We like Facebook is free. What are you kids doing? It's a scam. So anyway, we spend money on Facebook and we take our one story and we direct it to hundreds and thousands of people and, you know, all cater to the type of message we're sending. So it's a lot of hit and miss and a lot of guessing tests and there's a lot of growing in the meantime. But as I'm thinking about, should we do something on mindset? Ty comes out and says, here's a list of the things that you want to avoid. And I was like, hey man, you got to teach me something about this. He's like, I just copied and pasted this. So, I mean, if you want to speak something about it, Ty, I'd love for you to do it. But I was thinking that it's simple. It's psychology that you don't want to. Sorry, did you want to add in on this, man? Okay, I'm gonna lead you in. Yeah. Okay, look at this. I got the microphone. That's my microphone. Yay. Okay, so basically what it is that, like, you know, we're trying to find effective ways of communication. Ability for us to actually have a positive algorithm towards the audience in Facebook. Nobody in Facebook wants to like, share, and comment and post around some sad shit. Some people do. I get it. But when we're selling an opportunity to create wealth, time, freedom, and power inside of your life, I don't believe that negative language is going to be the ticket, okay? I was there. I hated being broke, always getting fired, and my job sucked, and everybody sucked in there, and I got into this business, and it didn't work, and I'm like, trust me, this is an ad. It's going to get good at the end. Nobody wants to read that. But at the same time, we're like, man, I worked so hard, and I loved people so much, and everywhere I went, I just kept on hitting a ceiling. And you know that feeling when you want to exceed, you want to excel and succeed, but it just always feels like there's another thing in front of you, another new challenge. Well, it was crazy because I ended up finding this online community of people who were all dealing with the same thing, and we all came together and we all started to create something very powerful. And it's just been awesome because now sky's the limit. And I found something that's not going to hold me back. Like, has anyone ever been up for that promotion or ever, you know, wanted to get that raise? You see, we're still talking about the negativity about stuff, but there's such a positive like spin on this that it almost makes you want to rah-rah with it. So when we're taking a look at words you don't want to use, it was just such a perfect thing. And I was like, man, this information needs to get shared. And it's not just for ads. It's not just for like affiliate marketing. Okay. It's like for life. Like, you don't want to be the person who's having the pessimistic conversation and we all get there. We all have shitty days. Okay. I'm going through one. I'm having a really triggered day where everything my kids do and everything that happens and my dog just doesn't want to poo. And it's just like, and he runs off and goes missing for like 15 minutes. And it's just like, you know what? And then like I chip my tooth and I'm like, okay, this is just a great day. And it just, all of this stuff happens as an opportunity to measure the size of your mindset. Do you want to be the person who's like, oh crap, damn it, I can't believe, my foot, and like it just keeps on getting worse. Whereas if your mindset is like iron proof and you're like, you know what, everybody gonna get triggered some days. It's all good. Some days is better than others. Some days you just have to hide. You just have to not come outside and not say anything and not do anything and just be by yourself and take some time for you. And that's a wonderful reframe as opposed to, oh gosh, I'm glad your boob wasn't out when that thing. So the reality is that sometimes that stuff comes out and takes at us. It creates argumentative conversation, you know, like negative intentions, like we're you know, judging what we see online and like we're super close-minded towards stuff. It happens. Our mindsets go in through dips. Sometimes we feel like we can take on the world. Sometimes we feel the world and hits us in the back of the face and we can't even open a door. And we can't even, like, it becomes so like tough to connect the dots. It's because we're in such a low place in our mindset. And I mean, I've been there. I guys, if you don't know my story, I spent a majority of my life faking and pretending like I had a good mindset when really I had the shittiest, most addicted to drugs, stupid ass like thing inside of my head. Like it was so gross. And I was such a liar and such a fake. And it was crazy to think that like I was never going to have a woman like this or a little baby boy like this had I been that type of person through and through. It was just something I was doing because I was trying to, I don't know, not feel so bad about being lonely and stupid and ignorant, and I didn't want to grow myself. But then I like, you know, with the last $8,000 I had, I bought a business, and it just pulled me into a wonderful new place in my life because I believed and I understood that something was more powerful than just you know, like where I was at in the time. Like it was this unconscious, subconscious belief that my parents were business owners, that they created opportunity. There was just something drilled into me somewhere deep that I knew I was like, you know, going to be somewhere in life. And it was a wonderful feeling to think that, you know, what is it, like a year, or it's been about 5 years. It's been over almost a year since I met her, or over a year. We've been together for almost 14 months now. But the feeling is that, like, you know, like the sun shines again. All good things come to pass. You know, what goes up comes back, what goes down comes back up again. And we have to understand that what goes up comes back down. So when you're on a high in life, you know, get ready for the roller coaster. When you're going down, when you're going through hell, keep going, because it will come back to sunshine again. Even the darkest night turns to day. And I believe that every breath you take is another moment that God chooses you. So there's got to be this unconscious conviction. And they liken this to that story. If you've ever read, like, I don't know where it actually comes from. If it's Think and Grow Rich or some other. A lot of people talk about this story where the guy wanted to be successful, and then the mentor's like, okay, go meet me at the beach at 5 a.m. So then they go to the beach at 5 a.m. He's like, okay. Yeah, Michael Burnoff says, a lot of people talk about this story. And then he's like, okay, so how bad do you really want success? And he's like, I don't really want it. I'm going to teach me whatever. I'm going to learn whatever it takes. And then the guy dumps his head in the water. I'm super paraphrasing. He dumps his head in the water and then, like, keeps it down there while the guy's, like, squirming to be alive. And the moral of the story is, do you want success that bad? Or do you just want it sort of, like, do you kind of want it? And, like, do you want it as bad as you want to live? Like, you actually do not want to die. Nobody wants to just not be here anymore. And I've been down that road where I'm like, I wish I was dead. I wish I wasn't here. I wish that, like, because the pain is so much mentally, physically, like, psychologically, that we want to label the pain somewhere on the planet, which makes us think really stupid things like suicidal. And I don't know if you guys have ever been there or been looking down the barrel of that, or looking at that bottle of pills, or looking at all, like, just, I remember even getting to the place where I was like, how do I just pretend like I ran away and then take my own life so that I wouldn't actually have to be here going, like, this was what the thought in my head. And it was such an egoic negativity in the mindset. Obviously, I'm not going to kill myself. I'm going to die anyway. I might as well do some damage while I'm here. What's up? But the reality is that when your mind is set in a negative place, you, like, it's hard, because I'm reading The Subtle Art right now. I'm not giving a fuck. And I talked about this before. I talk about this with my clients all the time. So if you're watching this and this is something I've said to you before, you'll know what I mean. Your bad times, the crap you're going through, it pulls you down, or like more and more down as you go through life. It's like a slingshot. Your life is still alive. You're still here for another day. Your engine is still rotating day by day. But our mindset gets pulled and pulled and pulled until something snaps and you just can't hold it anymore. And then suddenly it's just like, for me, it was the bottom of my of being on drugs and being in, like, a really negative place. Kevin, what's up, bro? How's it going, man? Great to see you. Thanks for jumping on. Would love to hear your take on mindset, man. This guy is a champion. You have no idea. If you take a look at this guy, he's like just jacked and stacked, and, like, he is, like, the most sweetest, gentle giant ever, man. But honestly, Kevin, I appreciate you coming on. I miss you, bro. But we're basically talking about what it takes to actually survive in business. And if you got a weak mindset, it's going to be pulling you down and down and down. And I like to think that we go through shitty times and we go through negativity in order to actually get to a better place. So it's not like it's a bad thing. It's not like you're supposed to, you know, always be happy and always think good thoughts and always think, you know, happy thoughts. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes you just stub your toe. Sometimes you miss your opportunity. I read people's numerological tidal waves every single day. Trust me when I say this. Like, you're not always going to be in a forward attack position. This is why they have the art of war. This is why there's an art to persuasion. This is why there's an art to selling. There's a finer nuance in communication. You can't just go boom and shove it down people's throats. You have to learn how to actually, like, accept the forward and the back, the ebb and the flow.
Renee wants to say something.
So let's do this. Renee wants to say something. Do you want to unmute yourself, Renee, and come on here? I'm going to turn the camera around for those of y'all who don't know. We also on Zoom. What's up?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I love this topic, Bobby. I also on the mindset, on the topic of mindset, I think what majority of people also experience is that tend to just live life on we live every day, sort of day in, day out, with the same mentality that everybody has to work hard to earn good money, or to earn at all. You have to work really hard and long hours, and it's almost ingrained in people from day one that that's the only way to achieve success. And I think often it takes people to reach that line in the sand moment to really realize this isn't everybody's mentality, and I'm better than this. And suddenly you realize that it's time to change your mindset, and you start doing exactly what we all do. You start putting yourself around more positive and more like-minded people so that it can help you start achieving your goals and setting yourself above the rest, getting out of that autopilot mode, if you want to call it. Sorry.
No, I know life, and absolutely. And so, oh, look at that, sweetheart. Hi, sweetie. Ooh. So, I mean, you're really nailing it on the head, and I'm glad that you, mention a little bit about you being that pioneer that actually does that for others. Because, if one of us is doing it, another will do it, and another will do it, another do it, and suddenly we're all raising the consciousness of people who are like, I'm sick and tired of this. And so, like, can you speak a little bit about that journey? Like, what helped you to find your line in the sand in order to start changing your mindset around to being open to something like this?
Well, if we go back to last year, I was off on maternity leave with little Maddie Mouse, and it was my birthday, and to be honest, we'd had quite a tough year last year in terms of finances, and it put a lot of strain on my marriage, which is, my husband and I have been together for 12 years, and it's really a new place for us. We just hadn't been down this road before. And we were just going to the shops, and we were trying to buy for this picnic that we were going on to meet a group of people, and my husband came out of the shop really embarrassed because our card declined and we couldn't afford a packet of chips. But we had 6 days left until payday. And, we tried to sort of make light of the situation and make a joke of it. But I felt sick inside. And I was like, why are we doing this to ourselves? This isn't how we should be, counting every penny and scrounging around. Then we started having another talk about me going back to work full time and putting Maddie into daycare from 8 till 5. And again, I knew deep inside that there's more out there, and that I said there's other people that, and he said it's the normal thing for people to do, to go to work and for kids to go to daycare. And I believe it, because I just said there's other people who choose not to live their lives that way, and they change something within themselves to make that not be their reality. And I said, I'm going to go and find those people, and that's how I'm going to live my life. So I went like a dog to the bone, and I went searching. I was just adamant, like, that's it, I'm taking reality into my own hands, really. Sorry, she's getting a bit but yes, honestly, we have not looked back since. It has just been the most incredible life path and internal growth since we've all joined together as a community. I honestly don't think it just applies to wealth. I've been applying everything that we've been learning to all areas of my life, and watching everything expand and grow and blossom. I'm counting my lucky stars, and it's all about your mindset and how you view things, and your outlook on life, and how you decide to get up and face each day. Everything is a choice at the end of the day. So it's how you choose to lead your life and lead each day. Sorry. He has a strong opinion on this too.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate you sharing in with that. Let's see here. Ty, what do you, oh, look at that. What a sweetheart. Hi, honey. Yeah, we got a little one like that, does the same thing. Okay, Ty, what do you think, bro? You want to weigh in on this?
Well, I think that, once you realize that your life is always in balance with highs and lows, like if something like really bad happens to you, something greater is even going to happen to you even more, because when you realize that your life is in balance and that everything has an equal seat of greater benefit, and then if something bad happens to you, you almost look forward to something more positive happening to you. And yeah, and the whole mindset thing too is like, you just got to have a killer mindset, right? Because like, I had a weak mindset when I first joined this amazing community, and until I started reading the books and just kind of allowing myself to grow, because I've been like 5 years out of high school and I haven't picked up a book since. Like I didn't read, and then I started diving into books, and then I started working on myself and my mindset, and that's when everything changed for me, and how I look at life, how I live my life, and how every day is a choice to live your life, and that you are the only one possible to create something different from yourself than where you are in your current situation. So once you realize that you have all the power, right, the choice is yours, right? So whether you want an average life or an extraordinary life, right? If you choose to go after your dreams or you choose to settle, or life is a choice, right? So anything that you do, you can take that and apply that, right? And then like through books, like I've applied so much knowledge into like not only sharing with others, but also myself, right? And then when you come from a place of value, because a lot of people don't share value, but when like they hear things, they're like, it almost opens up like a different ear, and then people are more like, oh. And then whereas like the regular kind of negative mindset shit with a lot of people have, right? So it's just kind of putting yourself in a better position every day to do something greater with yourself and just make a change, right? So
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, man. I remember even like, because it's normal when you are at work or you're at the water cooler, or I used to work at a call center, even at the car dealership. Like the mindset was very much around a do or die mentality in the car world anyway. But at the call center, it was like, people didn't like the fact that we had to take phone calls and that was our job. People didn't like to have to talk to customers, and they were like, oh man, a really shitty customer, I need to have a smoke after this. And I was sitting there thinking like, you really care? Like, I mean, and there was people like us who just didn't care. We were just like, I don't care about these people enough to give them a negative emotional response. And even then, and that made me very successful in working retention and loyalty, was because I wasn't hung up on how I felt about the situation. I was there to help someone. My mindset was towards a solution. But even then, some people get under your skin, and you can't help it. By the like, they're like you feel like you're getting chewed on, and the mindset around that is like, you can either have one that says like, why me, or like, why does this happen to me, as opposed to thinking that how can I do something about this. The why versus the how has been a really huge topic around like personal development, mindset creation, the evolution of it. People they're like, oh, I like in the past, I would say, well, I wouldn't be able to come because I already knew I was broke. I wasn't going to try my card for a bag of chips. I already understood there was no way that it was going to, I would not even going to embarrass myself by going in the store. I would look at my bank account. I'd be watching the pennies in there. It was all I had. So I was like, I would just cop out and just say, well, I can't come, I can't make it. The reality is I couldn't afford the bus fare to get to the event, or I wouldn't be able to go to the restaurant. I would feel like, oh, I'm just gonna have water, or I already ate. It's like, dude, you've been with us for the last 4 hours, you haven't eaten. And it's like, oh shit, like, you know, the feeling of being so embarrassed because I didn't have the money, but that would be dictating the level of things that I would do. My mindset was circulated around, oh, I can't do it, and this is why, or how am I supposed to get this done? Whereas the next one is like, why I should, or like, when you grow your mindset, why will I be successful? It doesn't matter like how things happen anymore as much as, you know, well, let's think of a solution. Like, let's just open up the ideas and open up the possibilities and think about it. Like, who knows what could come from accepting that success is the only option and then letting a solution swirl around that, as opposed to taking the collective of what we know, which is very small, and then trying to figure out a solution based on that. No wonder we fail. We only try to do what we can. We never like let go and surrender, thinking the world just works and things just happen and all good things happen. It takes time and energy to actually create a level of mindset around that. And so if you've been on that side of the fence, you're not alone. I mean, if you've worked with colleagues before and people complain about their boss, they complain about the technology, the computers aren't fast enough, the deals aren't fair, or the leads aren't coming in, and there's always like an excuse as to why things aren't working for you, then chances are you're on the wrong side of the mindset and your mind is incorrectly set. So if you want to, you know, just breathe in what I'm telling you and understand that the solution is there and that nothing new is under the sun. Everything is just stardust recycling itself. Bill Gates, Jay-Z, they all have 24 hours in a day. They just chose to do something and persisted through it until the point where they've become absolutely powerful. And even Bill Gates, he's a very powerful salesman. It wasn't his computer. It wasn't his system. He just put a bunch of things together and sold it around. So really, like, and if you've ever studied that, it's a wonderful story about how you can just be a solution artist. And that's what I call myself, a solution artist, because I know that I like to draw, I like to sing, I like to cook, I like to dance, I like to be in love, I like to be in business, I like to create ideas, I coach people for a business. You need an answer, I'll give it to you. And I don't have one, let's make something up and let's try it, let's figure it out. Because I don't ever want to be like, oh shoot, well, you're stuck and I can't help you. And there's nothing, you might as well just die. You might as well just sit down, never get up again, don't breathe, don't even drink any water because you're in a shitty place and you're never getting out of it. Like, that doesn't exist. Your lungs are going to be like, sorry, I'm not even thinking about breathing, but I breathe without even asking permission. Okay, so if you stop, then the inherent ability inside of your body wakes up again, deep down. Deep down. But beyond your conscious ability to make a decision, you're going to end up fighting for your life. But we get so like, oh man, internet everything, first world problem, why me, or like, you know, oh, a self-entitlement, the ego comes out, and we end up feeling like the world ought to pay me because I put in, you know, a post-secondary education and I went through the training and I paid my dues, and the world should pay me now because I got this thing on the wall that like has a diploma on it. My thing on the wall is from a video game. Okay, so like my mindset, I don't need a recognition of education to tell me that I'm a student, and I don't need to be the like you know, I feel like I'm really hammering on this because I had the worst time, you know, growing my mindset when I first got into business. I was right, everyone was wrong, they were drinking shitty water, they were killing and polluting themselves, and like, this is all we know, is that we just have to get working, you know, we have to do the best we can and save up enough money, and then we buy a house, and then, you know, that way we have something, we're not just renting anymore. And like, our mindset is based on the echo of generations past. But sooner or later, the straw breaks the camel's back. And I hate to burst your bubble, 19th century, 20th century, but in the 21st century, the algorithm has turned up. It's turned upwards, and now we're no longer, you know, like, technology now is replacing itself as soon as it's being created. And in the old days, it was like the mechanical age was very, very long, right? And now digital age is taking us through a skyrocket. So as soon as you learn something, stay learning, stay open. As soon as you know something, your wisdom starts to drop. And the more I know, the less I know. The more I learn, the less I learn. And the more that I live, the more curious I become. The more learned I become, the more green behind the ears I become. I never want to be considered a master, even though my life path says master 11. And it's a crazy number that I have a mastery in my life path, and I would consider myself the ultimate student, because everyone has a story. Everybody has something. Their own unique personal legend exists, and it's waiting to be unlocked. Because I don't care how many billions of people out there, I've measured you all, okay, or the people who have come to me, and there are only 9 numbers in the set. There's only 26 letters in the alphabet. For all the billions of people on the world, do you think there are going to be a few Susans? Do you think there's going to be a few Bobbies? Do you think there's going to be a few Roberts? Like, we all repeat the historical mindset of humanity. And when you get a chance to be the pinnacle of consciousness, is to actually recognize that, you know what? I want to go into my own direction. I want to do something that is beyond me. I want to exist outside of myself, not just a piece of the man or a piece of this. And this is where a solid mindset, a bulletproof conviction in your business, you are your business. So I know this was a supercharged message this time. Oh, man, I felt really called to do this because I was in a shitty mood. I was like, man, I don't want to go live. I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit and relax, and I just want to like veg out with my kids and just not take things seriously, because my mindset was just getting ranked on by external things. I was giving away too many fucks into the world, and I was like, oh, there's a subtle art to not doing this.
Sometimes it's good to not care.
Sometimes it's good to not care. I believe that, you know, honoring the pain in your path helps you to actually grow past it and grow forward through it. So, I mean, you're not alone. If ever you're like sitting there at an empty keyboard and you see that little thing that's blinking and you're like trying to figure out what the perfect winning ad is and like, man, I got nothing to write. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I don't know how I'm supposed to communicate my message. It's because we're looking at our success and where a bridge should be. We have a hole or a gap. And this is where our mindset is taking a scratch or a divot at us because someone told us it doesn't work. We have had failure before in our lives. We couldn't create the success we were looking for. And we just don't want to deal. We don't want to put our hand on the stove again. And that's what it feels like, is I don't want to be in pain. My brain wants to avoid that. If I don't know how or what the answer is, I'm probably not going to be so confident about just jumping and, trusting the universe. I had a really nice message from Tanis here. I wanted to read this. Bobby, you're so right. Everything tends to fall into place. I'm traveling on my trip, and I manifested it all to happen, even though it felt like it wouldn't sometimes. Tomorrow on a plane. Tanis is like, that was hilarious. I was just like, and that leads me to a very powerful point that a lot of us don't realize is how unconscious your mindset actually works. On the surface, like conscious level, you may be telling yourself, I don't know what I'm doing, I can't do this. But the actual work you're doing on the magnetic, unconscious, subconscious is so huge, and it overrides so much that thing where people are like, oh, be careful what you think about. I almost want to challenge that just based on Tanis alone, because she's like, I can't do this, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, well, then how the hell are you doing it? What the heck is that? If you say you can't, then how is it that you're actually already going? And it's a wonderful feeling to think, hi, baby. Oh, my sweetie's hungry. He's getting big. Oh, he's not. He's not. Okay, maybe he wants daddy to hold him. Hi. Oh, he wants to be on. How dare I hold a negative mindset? This kid looks like me when I was a kid, and I have pictures to prove it. But like, guys, it's crazy to think that like we are, and even as a parent, I thought I had all of the right mindsets. I'm like, oh man, wait till I have kids to be perfect. And I have kids now. I'm telling Sally, I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Like, I need your help, because she's the pro. She's already got babies, and they've already like not died. So I mean, I can appreciate the power. Sorry? She thinks I'm better. Subconsciously. And we never can see our own self. Our mindset's always producing something outward, and we never take time to actually realize that what we are actually is actually more powerful. We're our own toughest critics. Your brain, where your consciousness sort of like hangs out most of the time, is a probability calculator based on the experiences that you have. Whereas the dream is a wish that the heart makes. I'm sorry, I'm totally ripping off Disney on this one. But when you look for the conviction, you look for it in your heart, okay, not in your head. Your head is just there to prevent you from touching the stove again. It's a brain, okay? It's going to remember electrical impulses, and it's an antenna. So you want to really pump the energy and pump the blood and have something that makes you super emotionally convicted. And then through the brain, you can get a chance to convict yourself to reading the books, getting better at communication, staying true to the process. I can only imagine how frustrating it is for us who don't make the sales while we watch other people. Look, he's smiling, what a cutie. Well, other people are just like dancing their way to 6A. They just get sale after sale and like, oh, promoted this and this and that. And then some of us are looking at this being like, man, I got to fight tooth and nail to try to get one trifecta through the door or one new business partner. How is it that this person gets it and they make it so easy? It's 10% visible and 90% inner work. It takes precedence over outer results. You got to deal with your own, like, you know, the skeletons you keep shoving in your closet. That's closet space, that shelf space inside of your mind is holding up absolute vital real estate for your ability to actually say, let go and let God. Let the universe decide. It's all good. It's going to happen. I don't fret over stuff like that because my dreams are filled with where am I going in the world? What's going to happen with it? Sorry, my little boy was so excited that he just threw up. He was like, oh my God, Dad, you totally nailed it. I can't believe you were just like, bam, 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 bam. And it was just like, boom. You see that? It was like so good. Woo! Sometimes I just like to do that with my son and be like, hey, what are you doing? What's going on, Mama? How are you? Ooh, I love you. He's so much fun and he's just the best. But I don't believe I would have had the negativity in my life sustain itself. But I was blessed that I had friends. I was blessed that I had people in the right spots. And I was like, you know what? If you're doing it, I can do it. That was my mindset. It was like Balaj is a buddy of mine, and you know I've known the guy since we were in like high school. And so where are we? I think my camera's a little fuzzy. We were in high school back in like 2001. Okay, like I seen this guy just stumble over, fall, and not do his thing, and you know, and figure himself out. And then you know, once he became successful, I was like, oh, it's safe. It's safe now. You know, if he's doing it, then I can do it too. Like no big deal. And I ended up like, you know, having my ass handed to me because this guy was door to door. He went door to door sales, got promoted again and again and again. He was a sales director out of the same like learning curve and path of being a door to door salesman. Okay. That takes balls. That takes effort and energy to have people like yell at you, chase you off their lawn, like look at you from the window. They run away. You know they're home. They don't answer. Door to door is like the baptism by fire for sales. If anybody knows, it's the hardest thing ever is to bother somebody in the middle of their day or bother a mom in the middle of their day and just try to sell them something just because you have a product to sell and you've got a quota to fill. It's the worst thing to do, okay? And nobody likes it. So, I mean, this guy actually succeeded in that. And here I am getting fired, can't get a job, fired again. I get too good and I quit, or I get too good on myself. I'm insubordinate. I can't carry my job. And then at the end of it, I'm like, screw it. It's because I need to get into business because I'm a businessman. Nobody wants to hire me because I'm unemployable. And I realized I really was. But the reality was that I was stuck in my own ego that I could do this, when in reality is I had a lot more learning and growing that I could even recognize inside of me. And I was blessed that one thing, one small little piece of energy lined up the way it did in like it was so serendipitous to think, had I not found Balaj, had I not found Enagic, had I not found numerology, had Facebook, that one thing I would have, what happened? Maybe we never would have been like, when I saw her, I was like, first time I saw her online, I connected with the fact that she was an affiliate marketer. So the fact is like, what if I had never gone through any of that? None of this would have happened. And then I look back and I realized that, like, numerologically speaking again, guys, that we're fated and destined. So if you're part of this, it's because your mindset was looking for something more. If you're not, go easy on them, because they're probably the people who are never going to join our business. They never want to see it at all. They just want to post pictures of their food and babies. I do that too. But at the same time, we also want to post pictures of where we're going, what we're doing, what we're reading, what we're learning, how to share value to the marketplace. and help people grow and know that you're not alone, that you're not alone. You do not have to hide underneath a job or, I mean, and I don't want to say it like it's a bad thing. I hide underneath a funding source where the most valuable thing you could put together is your skill over your time. It should show up in a way that the internet has showed up, that these guys aren't sitting there posting an advertisement to every single person. The companies do it once, and then the real estate of electricity takes it forward. So the same thing happens with like the way that communication is being delivered real time. We're recording, we're live on Zoom, we're here on Facebook, people are seeing this. There's a powerful connection point to the thing that we have no idea how fast and how powerful this thing really is. We better not have any static ideas ever, because the level of being dynamic is so, like, it's so critical, especially in business. Your mind can never set. Your mindset has to always be fluid and just always be absorbing like a baby. Like even right now, his brain is just recording all of it. Like subconsciously, like he's getting the upgrade of a lifetime. And that's what I'm my most valuable like asset is my last name. And how egoic is that? I'm like, finally. And it's like I have this little baby boy now. And like I'm sorry for screaming in your ear. That's your Lion King. You did so good. This is my lifeline, my bloodline, and my ego for success is so grand. Look at him. He's like, you're so funny, Dad. It's so grand that I want my son to be as powerful as he possibly can to do whatever he wants to do. Whether he wants to be a coach, numerology, and magic, doesn't matter. As long as he's happy and as long as he's helping other people be happy, I'll be good. I don't want a selfish little kid. I want somebody who's going to be like, like absolutely caring for others. What's this? He is beautiful. He is so gorgeous. Hi. Oh, look at his tiny little belly. He's just so cute. Hi. Bang, 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 bang. Your belly like daddy. And honestly, guys, like if you don't, and that's another thing. Like I don't like that I have a belly, but I love myself, and that's a wonderful thing to think about. Like I'm the heaviest I've ever been. And if you don't love who you are, I used to be at 190 and 185 pounds. It's like 90 something kg, I think, around there, right? Down south. And I was like, oh, I gotta lose weight. I gotta get down to like 180, 175. And now that I'm actually heavier, I'm like around the 210, 215. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, and so the reality is that I feel the best I've ever had. I have the most love in my life I ever have. I have the most amazing woman and the most beautiful little baby boy and the smartest little kids. Okay, like we don't have jobs. We drive a really nice car. We live in a really powerful place in the mountain. Like it's
a healthy weight.
It's a healthy collection, and I eat what I want. And I like to eat, healthy food. I like to also make sure my watch knows I'm working out. And so there's a powerful thing in my mind that's set to think. And I learned this from the subtle art today. I was reading this. That it's not about eliminating problems. It's about upgrading the quality of problems you have in your life. Like the broke bum has money problems, okay? The billionaire has money problems. They just experience them in a very different way. One is looking through a microscopic version of wealth, and the other one's looking at a telescopic version of wealth. So don't be afraid of the lower side of you. It should be used as an indicator or a mind frame to think this is how bad it gets, because we don't know how good it gets. And Jim Carrey says it best. He says, I wish everybody had money so I realized everyone was rich, so I realized that it wasn't what it was all about. And to really understand that, guys, like I don't know how long it's going to take you. For me, it's taken me, I was 2015 and I 2014 and I was like already growing a leadership ego, like I'm going to do this for people, and oh my God, I have something to give, I have power, and it's been growing ever since. And I'm still struggling, and I'm still having new problems, and I'm still getting exhausted with my energy. And I tell it to Sally all the time. I'm like, on one side of the world, I'm a global speaker, right? And like I'm a high-paid coach. And on this side of the world, I'm getting beat up and throat punched by my nephew. Like at the end of the day, there's a high probability that I have puke, spit, throw up. I said throw up and puke. I have puked up milk or actual kid throwing up on me. poo, pee, some sort of bodily fluid by an animal. Like there's a large contrast in how I am when I'm in a challenge and how I am when I'm in success. And I use those as parameters. And I'm not trying to tell you that you need to be all happy all the time. But if you need to tell yourself in the mirror that you are, it's the next step. Because usually we don't even take the time to do that. I used to take the time to roll up my eyes at myself and to think, I was like, who the hell do I think I am? And now to the point where I'm like going through a tough time. Yeah, my patience is being tested, and I'm just like, you got this, you got this, you got this, you can do this. Just stay cool, be calm, change it all around, and I can self-talk myself back into power because I've disciplined myself to know that when I get into a shitty mindset, as I go through and dig through the garbage of myself, there's a button, an eject, a release button down there that says, get the fuck out of here. Boing! And I'll just bounce right back up, and it can take me a long time to find that button. You know what I'm talking about? Where you try to figure this thing out, and you just can't, and you just keep on beating yourself down. It's so that you can find the button in there somewhere so that you can reset. So if you can, I know this is a supercharged live emotional thing that we're doing, guys. If you can install that button, if you're there right now and you're like, man, you're speaking the truth, boy. You got me. You pegged me. Like, that's totally me. Then take this moment to install this big red button that you can only get to when you're super shitty spot in life, and you have to press it in order to take a walk, take a breath, grab a glass of water, go hug your kids, go pet your dog, go kiss your wife, go kiss your husband, go and do something that will act like read a book, burn a book, run outside, go take a shower, whatever, go and eat something, don't eat something, go and actually do something that will actually inspire the growth in you. I hope that you guys can really install that button in there, because can you imagine who's depending on you to like actually develop this business and develop your mindset so that you can show up to them one day and tell them that this is possible, that you can actually create a life that you don't have to run away from. And because of you, that they're going to be like, and even Sally she got a lead the other day, and someone came into her lead box and they're like, all I can say is, please help me, in capital locks. Like, and I'm thinking like, this person is standing up being like, I'm coachable, I'm ready, I want to do this. And you get to that point where, and I'm proud of this woman for going through all of the stuff she had to go through in life, like custody battles and all of the stuff she has, and like separation, and then raising 3 kids by herself, and then like still creating a business and still being able to do that. And it was super inspiring for me to think, man, like there's the power of a mother, the power of a woman. Like, you ladies out there have something else in that is like a part, and it's a gender like inequality, because a woman has got the power to actually give life. And all we get to do as men is just stand around and just run around for stuff and do stuff and say stuff, where we don't know the pain of what it's like to actually give birth. It was painful to watch. And I was like, I gotta stay strong for this woman here. But holy crap, there's a head coming out. And it was crazy to think that, like, we don't have a tolerance for that level of pain. And yet we're trying to create success for the world and teach men, teach women, teach people how to teach people. So I have a lot of amazing respect for the innate mindset, survival instinct of a woman that shows up. I'm a mama's boy through and through. So I really appreciated how much like my mom taught me. But the reality is that like when we're looking for mindset coaches, think about what a mother would do for her child. Think about what you would do for air. Think about what you would give to, like, what would it cost you to not have this opportunity? A lot of you guys inside of our business are like, man, tell me straight up. Like, people are creating powerful wealth. We're here with each other. It's a wonderful feeling, man. It's just been so nuts. I feel like they're so good that baby just had to go and spit. Yeah, it's all good. Let's see. Yeah, it got all over your ring too. Yeah, that's nice. Guys, mindset. Keep growing it. Do not ever stop. It's one of those things that will never be finished. It's never, there's no completion point, and you absolutely need to make sure you guard it with your life, because it's the difference between you passing up an opportunity because you've already dismissed your ability to create success in it versus the understanding that no matter what life throws at you, that you will not fail your kids, you will not fail yourself, that you will not show up and just give up. That feeling of wanting to create success so bad that you find all of the I quit and all of the I can't that you got and rip that shit up and throw it away and absolutely not be able to access that anymore. So if we want to upgrade your internal framework or your firmware inside of your brain, the first thing that I really start with is what passionately moves you and what's your why? Like, why are you actually doing this? This is what really connects, not what you know or how it works. It's all about why you're here. And it's funny how we point to our heart where we need our brains to protect our mindset. I think that we've really got it confused where mindset is a conviction of understanding and openness, whereas our minds are naturally set to be closed, defensive, and oh God, they're going to try to sell me something. And we teach this. I mean, remember, I was a network marketer. It's like you be curious into someone else. Don't try to position yourself for business or just start talking about it. If they're curious, they're going to ask. Everyone's got a tea, potion, lotion, food, juice, essential oil, makeup party, Tupperware thing. Everybody's running their own business. What are you doing to provide value to the marketplace? Who are you? This is why I became a high-paid coach, because I wanted people to build posture around me, to let people know that I'm actually here to help you get through something in your life, and it's worked. Because now we have people who are lining up to see me because of what we're able to do for them. And not to say I'm alone. I also teach other people how to do the same thing that I do. So I'm not really trying to just pretend like it's just me. Like, there's a technology out there, numerology, look it up. I teach it. It's an algorithm. And some people are more spiritually inclined to want to mend science and spirit. Some people are more like, oh my God, this is voodoo. I consider it as a technology, okay? Melina's saying, thank you, Bobby and Sally. I needed to hear this right now. Well, absolutely. And look at that. If for nothing else, for Melina to actually be here and actually like experience this message, it's like God-given. And I'm not to think that, I like to think that I'm God-sent and that we're all sent here from the higher being of consciousness. And we came into the darkness to create our own light. And some back faster than others, and some are like in the water trying to create fire. And so there's a reality of like, sometimes you need to build some things underneath you first before you pull out the spark and the flint. And maybe if you're in a swamp, then you have to hide your tools and move and actually get shit done before you write, profit. Whoa, affiliate marketing works, man. It's crazy. All you can do is share your story. If you're trying to do that, but then you're like, it doesn't work. Screw this. Screw the business. I'm going to go make an app, or I'm going to go do something else. I can't figure this out. Sometimes you have to take a detour, but every single step you make gives you more experience. So
planting a seed, right? It takes time.
You can't just plant a seed and look at it and be like, where's my apple?
Yeah, exactly.
What do? You have to work at it every single day. You gotta plant that shit. You gotta tend the field. You gotta rip the weeds out. There's a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with eating apples. You're like, I got this cool basket and these seeds. This is gonna be crazy. Like, no, you don't. Then you're like, oh, it's a scam. Home Depot just wants your money. You gotta buy soil. You have to get a thing. You have to get a little landscaping tool. Then you gotta get fertilizer. It's like, man, how much is this apple gonna cost? Can't I just plug it into the ground and then watch it grow? It's like, no, it kind of works that way, but you have to be open to the realization you get into business. Suddenly there's tools. Suddenly there's coaches. Suddenly there's personal development. Suddenly there's events and there's books and there's things and there's upgrades and add-ons. And it's like, how badly do you actually want business? Okay, if you wanted to create a hamburger, you need a cow, you need a field, you need some eggs, you need a lettuce patch, you need everything. No wonder McDonald's just puts it out for $1.99 or $2. It's because they've created a system around it that if you want it 24 hours a day, you can either drive or on your phone, have McDonald's delivered to your door now. You need a kiosk at the front. They've made it so easy and simple to order their food because you couldn't do that on your own. And if you did, it would take you some time, effort, and it wouldn't taste the same. And not to say that McDonald's tastes amazing, but the reality is that they've systemized this, and it took time and effort and years of creation in order to even hit they were like the founders of the franchise model. So there's a wonderful story in understanding that you are in for a growing curve. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you better get used to the understanding that it's not just going to happen overnight. You're going to need to put some things together. And if you blow over, you got to be solid and strong. Your mindset has to be able to look at other people and congratulate their success and understand, man, that was awesome. Teach me. Show me what you've done. I want to know, because I'm on a learning curve right now. My success doesn't just show up for me the way it did for you. You've been in half the time and got twice the results. What's going on? What are you doing so different? I want to learn. I want to know why I admire this. This is what mindset is all about. Instead of thinking of on the other side where we're thinking things like, I just got to figure out the right words to get my sale, or who did you target? If two people target the same person and one person buys over the other, it's because that person's done more inner work and they've been there longer. So it's a long game, okay? And I'm here to climb that mountain, enough so that like I staggered to 106, 107, or 108, 109 sales in my magic business. Like it took me so long. And I'm not allowed to do this, and I do this every so often. These are my checks for my business, guys. Like this is the money that I've made inside of a magic. So these checks are like 2,400, 2,040, 80, 340. A lot of them are smaller. A lot of them are bigger. There's a powerful connection of 5 years worth of income. And to some people, they're like, oh my God, if I could just get one of those, that would be amazing. How many do you have? Oh my God. This is 5 years. And this is like Balaj makes this in 2 days, in like 4 days. Can you imagine the perspective compared to what? I can imagine a lot of people are like, oh my God, you're so lucky and this and that. I'm like, guys, that's like, I've maybe my magic business has made somewhere around like $50,000. Like it's not in 5 years, it's like 10, like maybe a little bit more. I'm low balling it, but it's nothing compared to what, like there's a staggering ability that my mindset had to get over in order to actually achieve and create some of that. And most of that I didn't even make. It was my team. That's like hashtag love and magic. What's up, guys? That's the power of leverage. I had teams build me those. And I'm just like, sweet. So I guess you don't need help with the sale because it already paid me 2 weeks later. It's a wonderful feeling of thinking that I invested in something that's going to be their legacy. You got a little tiny spit on his chin. There's a little wardrobe change. I swear he changes clothes more than a Katy Perry concert.
Me too. I change my clothes every day.
I just get dirty. I don't care. So yeah, guys, I hope. Oh man, we went nicely overtime. I hope you guys find some serious value in what I'm saying, and you take this moment to take your commitment, you take your mindset, and let's just visualize with me here that you have this big huge nail. Okay, you have this big huge nail, and your existence is the ground. And this nail is your mindset, and it's your passion and your why and your reason. And you're going to take this hammer, and we're going to take this decision, the decision hammer, and we're going to smash this thing into the ground so hard that it ain't never coming out. Sorry? Stanley wouldn't like that. He doesn't like that. I was like putting stuff there anyway. We're not going to get into that. This guy's scared of tools. But I like we're slamming that mindset in with a decision that says, I don't care if I get this right or not. If it takes me 10 years and I don't see a single penny, and if I at that 10 years going to make $1 million a year, I'm going to absolutely invest in myself. It's still worth it. I'm going to make sure that I grow my mindset, and I'm never going to give up. And that give up is not a part of the option. It's not a part of the conversation. It's not a part of my opportunity. My opportunity rests in me growing and me learning how to do it. If someone else can do it, absolutely you can. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can get fired from 30 jobs and I can hire on or put on people that are nutritionists and teachers and engineers and people who are like spent years coveting a career in an education, and they can find value inside of what we're doing, anyone can do it. If the guys out in doing the oil fields and the mines and working in work camps, and they're just doing the grungy work, and they're not the most easiest guys to hang around, and it's all beers, butts, boobs, and cigarettes, and like they don't know how to use a calculator. And if they can do it, guys, you can do this. So I hope that I've inspired that and hit that on the nail, hit that on the head. Sally, can you end us off here? Can you like add into what we're talking about, or do you want me to just take us out?
Well, I think it's also important to make sure that you're healthy, right? Working on not just on your mindset, because it's part of it. Like we were listening earlier in the car, it's like you can never be happy. You can't be happy if you're not healthy.
That's true.
Like that, right?
Yeah. The cheapest thing to invest in and the most expensive thing to buy back is your health. Okay, so think of it that way, and it's a really powerful way to end this off. Get up and start moving around. Get up and do some breathing. If you can't do that, at least think in your head what it looks like to breathe, or what it looks like to actually exhaust energy. I get so amped up and so hyped up about this, guys. It's just a wonderful
And don't
feeling.
forget gratitude.
Don't forget to be grateful. Yeah, that's a mindset of being grateful. If you I'm loosely paraphrasing the Bible when he says this. Like those who don't give, what little they have will be taken away. But those who give, they'll be given more. So if you give, you will give more will be given to you. But if you take and you don't give and you hold on to everything that you have, even that will be taken away. So circulate. If you want $1 million, go ahead and spend every single dollar you have in investment, coaching, opportunity, growth. You make some powerful learning decisions inside of the time you spend learning in how to make some serious wealth. But you ain't going to get there on hopes and dreams. You have to understand that mindset is going to be bulletproof. So that's our topic for today. I'm going to be uploading this onto my YouTube. For anybody who comes onto my YouTube, it's www.youtube.com/bell169. I'll post the replay. You can catch it on my live feed. And for any guys who haven't sat in the desk with me, absolutely take it from any one of my clients. All of these people who have logged on, they all got letters in their name. They all got initials in their name. They'll have certain ways that they've approached themselves. There's a reason behind that, okay? And there's a study of the magnetism of the universe inside of an algorithm. This is what I do, okay? So I help people to create the inner game. This is one of the most powerful pieces of it. I would call this the ambassador of your inner game, is your mindset. And my son is like, Dad, come on, we got to go play. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. Actually, we'll see you in a couple of days for Sally's Your Ultimate podcast. We just come live every couple of days and do stuff for an hour. But it's been a blessing and a pleasure, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching with us. Hope you guys found some serious value, and go out there and crush it. Have a great week, guys. All right, we'll talk to you guys.
See you Saturday.
See you Saturday. Yeah, if you guys are in Vancouver Island, then we actually get together in real life. We're real life internet friends. See you guys Saturday. All right, Ty, take care, guys. Bye.